Hey guys, it's That Evil Overlord. It's been a while and I apologize. I had to deal with a ton of schoolwork, but alas, I'm making videos again. This time, I'm going to be reviewing The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, originally released for the Nintendo GameCube back in 2002 in Japan, and 2003 in America and Europe. When this game was first revealed, it was met with a lot of undeserved controversy due to its cel-shaded art style. However, this proved to be a minor factor, because once the game was released, critics and gamers alike praised the title, and many have even called it their favorite 3D Zelda game, if not their absolute favorite in the series. The game was also recently remade for the Wii U, so I thought it would be a good idea to take a look at this title. But enough backstory, let's start the review with the game's story. So the story begins on Outset Island, a small island within the vast Great Sea, where Link, our protagonist, wakes up on his birthday. After receiving the clothes of the ancient Hero of Time, which should be worn when one celebrates their coming of age like Link, his grandmother sends him to get Ariel, his sister, who lets him borrow her telescope for the day as a present. As he tries it out, a huge bird is seen carrying a girl, and after getting shot by a catapult, drops her into a hilltop forest. After Link saves the girl, who goes by the name of Tetra, the bird comes back to kidnap Ariel, and flies away with her. Due to his tragedy, Link decides to go along with Tetra, who's actually a pirate, in an attempt to save Ariel. However, he fails, and gets stranded in the Great Sea until he is saved by the King of Red Lions, a red talking boat who assists him in trying to save his sister. While doing so, Link learns about the man who kidnapped Ariel, and the true history of the Great Sea and the Hero of Time. All in all, the story is actually very interesting and gets deep later on. If you played Ocarina of Time, one of the more famous installments in the Zelda series, solid questions you may have asked after completing that game will be answered with the Wind Waker story. There are cliché moments that are meant to be funny, but otherwise, the story is well presented and coherent, and the ending can get you right in the feels. Now, let's move on to gameplay. Wind Waker is a classic 3D Zelda game, following an action, sword-based combat gameplay, along with an open-world adventure experience. Link can move around, climb up ladders, sit alongside walls, crawl under tight spaces, and whatnot. He also wields a sword necessary in combat. By simply pressing the B button in either version of the game, Link swings his sword. When tapping it, he swings in succession, and by moving the analog stick around, he can do different techniques. An important element in any 3D Zelda game is the targeting system, which makes combat much easier and avoids any continuous camera adjustments. Link can also earn and use many other items, such as a sail to move around the Great Sea on the King of Red Lions, Ariel's telescope, a grappling hook to get over high spaces, and more. An important item is the Wind Waker, a conductor's baton that, when Link uses it, commands the wind and can help him accomplish several tasks like gusting the wind with the sail, teleport around the Great Sea, change the time of day with the blink of an eye, and more. One gameplay element that differentiates the Wind Waker from other Zelda games is the sailing. The Great Sea is a huge setting, and Link can get anywhere around the map, which increases exploration. This point can make or break the game for many. If you just want to finish a game's story without worrying about any exploration, or just interested in the combat, then Wind Waker may turn you off because there's a lot, and I mean a lot, of sailing. If you enjoy exploration and are adventurous, such as myself, this title might catch your eye. An improvement in the remake is the sail that allows Link to sail much faster around the Great Sea, which comes in handy a lot. So that's the gameplay, an intriguing combat system known in the Zelda series mixed with an extremely extensive open world, unusual for a series. As for the controls, the game controls wonderfully. As I said before, the swordplay is easy to learn, and by practice, you can master it and make easy doings of enemies. The targeting system is also extremely helpful, and I'm glad that the developers took time to perfect this mechanic because it really helps. Targeting enemies makes moving around a field of combat easy without turning the camera like a drunk moron. Using the several items is also easy. By pausing the game, you can set each item to either the X, Y, or Z button, and use them on the go. This mechanic is improved greatly in the remake with the gamepad's touchscreen, so you can switch items on the go. The sailing also controls beautifully. You can move around with the analog stick and jump with the right trigger, which is all you'll need. The Wind Waker, oh man, such beauty. After pulling it out, a metronome appears on screen and you just have to move the C stick, or the right stick, to the appropriate position to conduct the song. You can also change the tempo from its default 4x4 to 3x4 or 6x4 by moving the left analog stick left or right respectively. So basically, the game controls great and anybody can pick it up and play with ease once they know how it works. Now for visuals. If you remember at the beginning of the video, I said that the cel-shaded art style created great controversy after the game was revealed because it looked too kiddie, and people were expecting a more realistic style after the Zelda tech demo showed off for the GameCube before the system was released. This controversy, however, soon faded away after the game was released due to the game's awesome gameplay. Hilariously enough, the art style actually gained praise as one of the game's strong points. It was also used in Skyward Sword, meaning that its reception was positive. And well deserved, because considering how the 6th gen systems only displayed games at a native 480p, Wind Waker looked absolutely stunning for the time. The textures were so smooth, the models were well designed, barely any polygons can be seen at first glance, and so on. When now at the Great Sea, the fade-in of upcoming islands looks so nice. This art style looks even more gorgeous in the Wii U remake, because the entire game was rebuilt from the ground up, so at a native 1080p, the game looks absolutely orgasm-worthy, stunningly beautiful. Unfortunately, this comes at a cost of a slightly more chopped framerate, but that should be expected for such a visually stunning experience. As for the game's soundtrack, it's wonderful. Koji Kondo continues to compose great music along with Kenta Nagata, Hajime Wakai, and Toru Minegishi. However, this may be just me, but the soundtrack isn't as memorable as, say, A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, or Majora's Mask. I remember several compositions like Outside Island, Windfall Island, and Dragon Roost Island. However, I have a harder time remembering pieces from the dungeons for starters. I don't know why, and it may be just me, but that's the way it is. As for the non-existent voice acting, as I said, there's none, and it's better that way because, in my opinion, it's better for the player to figure out a suitable voice for the characters while reading the dialogue. Link's screams in the game are funny considering his age, but in the end he does end up being more badass than us. So yeah, the game's audio is great. Now, how has the Wind Waker aged? Well, let's see. Great story, familiar and at the same time unusual gameplay style, easy control, ageless visuals, and wonderful audio. It's easy to say that its age has stood its ground for the past 11 plus years. But that's not true anymore due to the Wind Waker HD remake. The story and gameplay stay intact, but the control is easier to manage with the gamepad, the visuals look much more delicious at its native 1080p, and the audio is transmitted at a higher and clearer bitrate because the higher capacity Wii U discs allow better quality audio files. So unfortunately, I can't say that the game stood its ground as well. If you own a GameCube or a Wii but no Wii U, then it would be worthy to pick up a used copy of the original game. However, if you have or are planning to purchase a Wii U, just get the remake. So in conclusion, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker is an amazing game that any gamer could pick up, play, and have a blast. Especially adventurous and curious people. If you ask me, get the Wii U remake because of better control, smoother visuals, and clearer audio. But the original GameCube release should not be ignored because it still is great as is. It isn't my favorite game in the series, because that belongs to Majora's Mask, but still is a game that I hold close to my heart, and I haven't regretted spending my money and time on playing it again through the remake. So everyone should check it out if they haven't already. So write down in the comments your fondest memories playing the game. That's my view on this game, so for now, this is That Evil Overlord, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.